In this tutorial, I would like to talk to you about glow materials for your objects, your characters, in 3ds Max 2011. There are a number of ways to be able to accomplish this, but I'll show you a few in this tutorial. So what I've done here is place a couple of objects in my scene, and a light, an Omni light. So if I select my Omni light, I will be using Mental Ray, so this is a Mental Ray area Omni. And my settings currently are, let's see, the light type is Omni, the intensity multiplier is 1.0. Your scene information will change depending on your particular scene and the objects and the distance of your lights, but for this demonstration this is what I'm using. I also have area light on, sphere selected, and the radius is 10. Samples are 8 and 8. So that's what I have currently in my scene. For my renderer, I'm using Mental Ray, and I'm also using Final Gather set to low so that you can get an idea of how your renders will look if you use any of these glow techniques. Alright, so let's cancel out of here. We don't need to see that. Now, the first thing is that's typically done if we open our material editor. I have a simple gray associated with my objects here, and it's a duplicate shader, so as I change the one that's applied to the head you can see the differences. Many people like to use self-illumination, so they just simply come in here and turn the color on and then choose a different color. And you can see with this blue that you can get something that looks like it's glowing in comparison to the other objects. Alright, so I think you can get an idea of what that's doing in the scene, but I want to point out that this particular illumination technique, it doesn't really capture any halo or emission of a glowing surface. So there are several ways that you can do that. We'll discuss a few of them here. The first thing I'll do is pick a different ID channel for this particular object. I'll just pick 4 so that it's different than the others in our scene. Okay, so if we go to rendering, environment, we can add in a lens effect. See the effects tab, and we'll add in lens effect. Down here we have glow. These types of effects are simply for render, they're not for games. We'll be able to export these. If you come down here to glow element, the size is going to dictate how much glow is around the object. We'll just put 10 in here. The intensity is also important. That's going to depict how intense or how vivid the actual glow is. Okay, also in the options tab, I'm coming right down here to image sources, and we set our material ID on this particular object to 4, so go ahead and check that and put 4 in here. Okay, so under parameters again, you can give your object a different color than the actual surface of the object. Let's try a different color so you can see that. Make it really atrocious. Let's go lime green here. Okay, let's render this, see what we have. Okay, so as you can see, we're getting a lime green glow around this character. So let's adjust the settings here so that you can see, if I bump this intensity up, what that does for it. Ooh, now you can see that it's really glowing. So let's do one more pass on this by setting the size down to about 10 and the intensity back to about 75. Let's see where that goes. Okay, so you can see that we're getting a little tighter glow on that, and the intensity has gone down just a little bit. So let's try one more so you can see the difference. I'm setting the size down to 5 and the intensity to, let's say 60. Render. Alright, so you can see the differences and how you can adjust that for your particular needs. And this is one way of producing a glow around your object, and let's talk about a different way. Okay, under options you can also set that so that it does not glow over your object. You can do that by clicking on perimeter. So let's test that. Okay, so you can see how that responds by giving you a glow outside of your object. Now you can see that there are issues with 3ds Max post type effects. This is a post render type effect that Max puts on after it's rendered, and you can see that it's substandard as far as industry specs goes. So if you're going to do post effects, I would recommend that you take your image into After Effects after you get it composed the way that you want it, and do your After Effects or your post effects in that or another comparable post effects tool. But there are other ways of achieving a glow in Max, and I'll like to show you those too. They work just a little bit better. Alright, so the next technique I'd like to show you, close all this, is go back to your material editor, and we're going to choose a new material, and we're going to choose an architectural material. And there are parameters in these new architectural materials that will allow you to create a glow effect with better results. Let's give this a color, maybe a light blue this time. Okay, right down here at the bottom, this is where it says luminance. You can increase that. Let's go ahead and apply that to our model. Okay, and let's render that. Okay, you can see that it's glowing. I have my luminance set to 4200. Let's take that on down. As you can see, it's glowing because it's projecting the color on the surrounding surfaces. I'll set this down a little bit too, to a darker color. A rich blue. Oof. Too rich. Okay, so take that down and render again. Okay, not so bright. So we'll go ahead and bump the luminance again. But as you can see, the it's glowing object, but it's not. It doesn't have that glow on the outside of the parameter again. So to get that halo effect, let's go to render, setup, and we'll change some settings in here. Under render, let's see, under camera effects, we're going to apply a camera shader's output glare. I'm going to go ahead and use the glare, say OK. You can see that it's created map number 5 glare. So if you drag and drop that on a blank material, make an instance of that, you can see that it's registered. Okay, let's render that. Okay, you can see that it has a brilliant halo effect now. So let's go back to our material and turn down the luminance again. We'll go to 2000 on that and render again. Alright, so you can see how that's affected by our settings, and depending on your tastes, you'll want to continue to play with the luminance. You can also play with the transparency and maybe even the shininess of the object to get what it is that you're looking for. Additionally, if we come back to the glare parameters here, the quality you can set. The maximum I think is 4, but the default setting is 2, which seems to be working fine. Also the spread, you can tweak this. Spread is the distance from your object that glow is going to go, so if you want something that's emitting a little bit further than that, you can adjust the setting as well. Okay, an additional option I'd like to show you is, let's put this away, making a mental ray material. Come down here to mental ray, and on basic shader surface, you can choose a glow, as I recall. Oh, there it is, glow. Say OK. Go ahead and give ourselves another color. Let's just make it bright orange, maybe. Oof. Okay, red. Okay, and we'll go ahead and apply that to our surface here. Alright, let's render that and see what it is. Okay, so you can see that we have, actually this is probably the more decent glow, emitted glow that I've seen out of the 3 choices. The nice thing about this particular emitter is that you have control over the brightness. Also, the brighter these particular settings are, the brighter your glow will be. But the other nice thing is that you can apply your surface and choosing a bitmap, going and finding your image, and we'll choose this one for now. And go ahead and render that again.